Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Snug Wrestling. It is definitely feels like the European tour for the WWE has begun. Clash in Italy was this morning, 11 a.m. Pacific time for my time. On a Sunday, it was a odd pacing of my day because I'm not used to watching wrestling in the middle of the goddamn day, and it was a 3 hour show, and I watched it live. But it all worked out. I was able to watch it live. I got my stuff done, made it back in time for the review. And we're going to be going all over that, all over the matches that happened today with the Snug Wrestling crew, Mr. Blood, Tommy, and Toxic. How is everything, fellas? How we feeling today after Clash in Italy on this lovely Sunday?
Feeling mostly good about it. My brother came over, so we watched it. I don't have a lot to complain about for the show. I got a couple of nitpicks, but I will say that for the most part, the majority of the show was pretty good to almost great. But other than that, definitely glad that the show didn't take longer than. I mean, it really didn't feel like it went longer than 3 hours. I think it went just under that as well. So it also wasn't like a slog of a show to get through.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. It was a weird pacing because I had to get up, wait, and then watch because it's at 1 me and Tommy's time. So, yeah, and then I don't it was just really a weird schedule, and I enjoyed the show overall today.
I did also enjoy the show, but overall, there was only one confusing thing I had, and it wasn't even during the show itself. It was announced after the show, that being the post show, with Liv Morgan being in the Queen of the Ring tournament. I was extremely confused on that. But overall, the show itself, I loved.
Thank you for reminding me about that, Tommy. And I actually do want to talk about this really quick because there was a few questions, not just the fact that the men's King of the Ring, LA Knight already cut the promo on Monday Night Raw that said the winner of the King of the Ring gets a shot at a championship match, right? And that's when LA Knight called out Roman. So it's been established the men's King of the Ring, the winner gets a title shot. But over in the women's side of things, the Queen of the Ring, the champion is, it was announced that she's in the tournament. So hypothetically, if Liv Morgan wins the Queen of the Ring, does that mean she gets a shot at Rhea Ripley? Or what is happening there? The other thing too, the bracket seemed really confusing because it looks like there's going to be a fatal four-way match in the first round match, the opening match of the tournament, which is another thing that's like that doesn't sound right. So, is the WWE switching up the fucking rules of this thing like this year or something?
Well, I mean, I'm just happy that it's not like all the years we had where King of the Ring just meant you got a new stupid king gimmick with a crown and the fucking robe and the scepter, and all of a sudden you're King Booker, which was entertaining, or you're like fucking King Barrett, or you're King Corbin, or it was always just something dumb. King Woods. I'm glad that now winning the tournament actually gives the winner something. So I feel like the tournament's seriousness has been, taken kind of back forcefully, thank God, by Triple H, where now we actually are going to have people who can vie for titles. Winning this means something for your career, an opportunity. And I like that. As far as the unclarity when it comes to the women's side, I would imagine that because I feel like they are going to say, like, yeah, whoever wins this gets to face, I would say, Rhea, or whoever's going to be the champion at the end of that. We have Saturday night's main event coming up. We've got Night of Champions and stuff. So whoever the hell is a champion by the time this tournament's over, I would imagine they're going to be facing Rhea for her championship. But yeah, they do need some clarity. I don't know why you could just, whoever wins King of the Ring is going to face, this person. But neither champion nor challenger of the opposite brand is also in this tournament. So I don't know. It is confusing. We need some clarity. I would imagine this would put Liv up for Rhea's championship if she were to win. Maybe it's just because they have such a smaller roster for the women that they want more star power in the tournament, and maybe getting Liv in there, they'll explain it away by having her like, oh, she bitched to Adam Pearce to get herself thrown in there or something, whatever. We'll find out.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to what a lot of fans have been saying. Liv is the champion, but they have nothing for her. That could be a reason why she was thrown in this fucking tournament just like that. Because this is coming straight from the WWE website directly, specifically. The 2026 King and Queen of the Ring tournaments are officially underway, with each final set for Night of Champions 2026. The winners of each tournament will earn a championship match at SummerSlam 2026, and the first round match are in fact fatal 4-way matches, all of them. So we're going to get 4 fatal 4-way matches for the women's tournament and 4 fatal 4-way matches for the King of the Ring as well on the men's side for the first round matches.
And Liv's explanation for hers was she was going, hey, people are saying that I'm not a good champion, that I can't defend my title, when really she hasn't. They're just waiting for Stephanie Becker to come back at this point. But still, at this point in time, she's really got nothing going on, and they're just shoving her in wherever the hell they can.
You guys already know how I feel when it comes to these fucking multi-person matches, and we're gonna literally see 8 of them.
Yeah, I know. Unlike you though, I like tournaments. I like this type of stuff. Fatal 4-ways, I don't have a problem with. It gets more of the boys and girls on TV who might not get on TV otherwise. So I'm always fine with seeing them get on, even if they're not going to win. It's nice to see them get a shine. I got to imagine Javon's in it. I think we heard that tonight. We know LA Knight's in it. I'm hoping that we get to see some stuff with maybe Seth Rollins in it, Braun Breaker in it. Let's get them involved. Let's get more of these guys on TV, more of these girls on TV. We a lot of people are talking shit about all the releases WWE has done, but then they'll say stuff like, oh, but Michin and BFAB still have a job. Well, put them in the fucking tournament. Okay. Give these men and women something to do. Like, we have so many people on the main roster that we don't see. Where's the last time we saw Rey Fenix? When's the last time we saw Fraxium? When's the last time you saw, like all these things? Get them in these tournaments, get them some TV time, let them show out for the audience, and maybe we can get some new favorites pushed by the fan base here out of this.
Well, let's go over the names really quick. I'm just going to run down the list of the names that are announced for the King of the Ring for the men's side of things. Penta, Oba Femi, Solo Sikoa, Carmelo Hayes, Dom Mysterio, Braun Breaker, Trick Williams, Damian Priest, Seth Rollins, Javon Evans, Tala Tonga, Ricky Saints, Jey Uso, LA Knight, Royce Keys, and Finn Balor.
Pretty strong list, if I do say so myself. Would I like to see, some of these guys that we haven't seen in a while that we know we're still sitting in catering get on there? Absolutely. Would I be mad at seeing Akira Tozawa or Otis in there, even just so they can be a foil for someone mid-match, and maybe we get a spot where we buy that they're going to win even just a little bit, but then the victory gets stolen from them just to get the fans rallied. I would like to see some of that, but I'm not upset at this either. These are all strong players. You got a lot of former champions in here, a lot of former world champions in here. You've also got some tag guys in here, which is also good. So the way I see it, I'm happy with Fatal 4-ways. I'm looking forward to this. And I like, again, that the Money in the Bank finally means something. After all these years, winning that motherfucker puts you in line for a fucking world title shot on the second biggest show of WWE's calendar year. And that's only a good thing for anybody's career involved in it, in my opinion.
And for the Queen of the Ring, we already mentioned Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Chelsea Green, Sol Ruca, Lyra Valkyria, Charlotte Flair, Jade Cargill, Roxanne Perez, Io Sky, Julia, Lash Legend, Bailey, Raquel Rodriguez, JC Jane, a recent NXT call-up, and our good friend of the show, Kiana James. So those are the names that we got for the Queen of the Ring tournament. But yeah, something to look forward to, I think. We'll see what happens with that. But let's go back to Italy, where the Clash went down, where we saw 5 matches. Some matches exceeded my expectations, others did not. But the opening match was for the WWE Undisputed Championship. And I'm already going to say it. This was my favorite match of the night for so many reasons. Yes, I know that we had Roman versus Jacob Fatu. We had Oba Femi versus Brock. But this one, the opening match between Cody and Gunther, stood out to me the most for so many reasons. I mean, these two guys are in their prime, top guys in the company. They work well, amazing together. They have a lot of chemistry. They know each other so well, I feel like. There's a lot of history. The story that they were telling in the ring was basically, you know, Gunther trying to get that sleeper hold in and Cody Rhodes just fighting back and trying to find ways to avoid the sleeper hold. Cody Rhodes was pulling out all the stops. At one point, he even hit a pedigree. Got a 2 count. Holy shit. Okay. But yeah, it was back and forth. It was hard hitting. It was insanely good. And the finish of the match was awkward. It was really weird because Gunther's foot was under the bottom rope, which pro wrestling rules say if your foot is under the rope, it doesn't have to be on the rope. It could be under the rope. That's a break. You have to break the count. You if your foot is under the rope, the count should be interrupted. The referee didn't see that, and referee's decision at their discretion, Cody Rhodes pinned Gunther, and of course Gunther was not happy about that. But the other thing too, like, this match didn't overstay its welcome. That's one of the things I like. Especially, we live in a time in wrestling where there's false finishes left and right. Like fucking 4 or 5 false finishes in one match. And it's like, okay, bro. But I liked how it was not quick, but it was just right. The timing of it was just right. It wasn't too short. It wasn't too long. Cody hit his finisher. The referee counted 1, 2, 3. Boom. Let's go home. I loved everything about this. What did you guys think about the finish? The fact that the referee did not see Gunther's rope under the ring. How did you guys feel after seeing that?
End of the day, this is the one match on the card where I said in our predictions that I didn't know who was going to win. Everything else was predictable. But this is one of those matches where I could see WWE just fucking choosing, yeah, we'll switch the title now. You know, when it comes down to it, I felt like this entire match, I thought it was really well done. But I looked over at my brother mid-match, and I remember looking over at him, and I was just like, hey, I feel like we're missing the whole middle of this match. I feel like the match went from, like, the match started out really good, and then it went straight from, like, we're at the first act of this match, and then I feel like we jumped to the third act of the match. I feel like this match did not have any real middle to it whatsoever. It kind of felt rushing to the finishing spots of just like, how many times can Cody get out of this sleeper? How many times can Gunther kick out of a crossroads? Cody kicks out of a power bomb. Cody misses a Cody cutter twice. He finally hits it. Like, I feel like we were just skipping the middle for all the beats. The finish, I hated it. And I didn't hate it because of anything Cody and Gunther did. I did not like it because I feel like the entire ending of this match, the finish, was fucked up by the cameraman. That and whoever in the truck was telling them to switch angles. If you wanted the audience to really react to that finish, which the audience reacted as if Cody won with no qualm, because if you watch it the way we watch it, that match feels like it ended extremely anticlimactic because it felt like Gunther was kicking out, and then it also felt like the ref was going to see his foot under the rope. But because when I saw that Cody cross-roaded him so close to the rope, my brother goes, "Oh, is it?" I was like, "That's not over. He's way too close to the ropes. If Cody was smart, he would have dragged him. But if you're going to land that close to the ropes, he's going to grab the rope." That's exactly what I said to my brother. Match counts 1, 2, 3. I go, "Wait, what the fuck?" And then they go the replay, and then I see his foot under the rope. And I'm like, I missed that. So if you ask me, this finish is a lot stronger if they have a guy outside the ring with the fucking camera on the other side's ramp side shooting inward for us to clearly see Gunther's foot go under the rope. I think you get a better reaction out of that. I think it doesn't feel nearly as anticlimactic, and I feel like the fans actually aren't confused by the initial finish before the replays. But I feel like just having the camera in the wrong spot, I think completely fucking fucked up and kind of ruined the energy of the finish.
As of watching the first few minutes of the match, when they actually start to get going and not just like building the energy up in the match as Cody usually does in his, I want to say, high pressure matches, or he just does it sometimes, almost all the time. But it feels like another version, it felt like another version of their match at Crown Jewel 2024. The pacing and the intensity and the overall vibe of the match, I do speak of. I do like when Cody says, "I'm easy to find, hard to beat." It's not just a catchphrase, because when Gunther was spamming the sleeper the first time out of many, you can see how hard it looked like Cody was trying to hang on and just fight his way out of this sleeper, which I thought it was great. The match it felt quick to me, but I think this is all it needed. No interference from anyone outside midway through. I do think on SmackDown they will bring up Gunther's leg being under the rope, and then they'll probably run it back at Night of Champions, which I kind of hope not. I just want this to be a one and done.
I will say that this is not the match I thought would start off the show. When Cody's music hit, when Gunther's music hit, I'm like, wait, this is the match that's starting off? Because I was not expecting it. If anything, the one that I expected to start off the show was Becky and Sol Ruca. But that is not how it went down. Overall, I like the match. I feel like it fit perfectly with how both of them went. Of course, Gunther had to do the sleeper. That's basically his signature at this point is, hey, look, I'm a sleeper every chance I get. That's just how he is. But Cody winning the way he did, I do feel the same way as Blood, where I'm like, this isn't done. There's no way the match is done. And then it was. So that's my biggest problem, was right after the match, I'm like, wait. Gunther's leg was under the rope. That should not have counted at all. That should have stopped it, like, none. That shouldn't have started the count at all, because it wasn't until 2.5 when Gunther put that other leg up.
Yeah, we got a controversial finish here in the opening match between Cody and Gunther. And I thought it was great. But hey, that is just me. We'll see what happens with Gunther and Cody up next. I'm pretty sure Gunther is not going to stand this corruption by the referee in the opening match. So that should be interesting. Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. This one right here, I enjoyed it a lot. Surprisingly, I felt like Jade Cargill really was showing off for the people. She came out there like with something to prove. Like, hey, like, look at what I can do. Like, you guys want to hate on me, and I'm actually pretty good at this. Look, check this out. They went to war. I mean, Jade Cargill looked dominant. They did some pretty cool shit in this match. A couple like unexpected spots that was like, holy shit. I think they were in the apron at some point, and they went over the rope and they hit hard on the edge of the ring. And Jade Cargill at one point did like a crazy counter to, I believe it was Rhea Ripley's finisher and turned it into like a tornado DDT or something crazy like that. Like Jade was moving. She was moving in this fucking match. And even Michael Cole kept putting over the fact that he really likes this pacing by Jade Cargill. She was more methodical. She was more calculated. And most of this match was all Jade Cargill. So I like that part of the match. They made Jade Cargill look really good, but it wasn't enough because Rhea Ripley retained thanks to Charlotte Flair. So I think this is going to what we pretty much talked about during predictions. If Rhea Ripley wins, then we're probably going to see Jade versus Charlotte Flair, and I'm pretty sure Jade is going to go after Charlotte after that.
Yeah, so I think most of us are going to agree here. This was probably the most surprising match of the night. None of us had any fanfare for it. Most people on the in the IWC really don't care or think that highly of Jade as far as her in-ring ability, the things you hear in the reports of backstage behavior, everything else. And then, we've thought for the last year's worth of her matches that, they're overly choreographed at a time to keep her protected and make her look good. And then it just feels like she botches a lot, or she's too sluggish. She forgets spots. And then you get a match like this, and then I can definitively say that this is probably the best match of Jade's WWE career. I'd say that pretty confidently, actually. And at the end of the day, there was only one part of this match where I thought I saw shades of old Jay, which was when she had Rhea, near the ropes, and she or up outside on the apron, and she was trying to figure something out. She was kind of stumbling over how she wanted to grab her or shift her. I think we all saw that, and I thought, oh, don't do it. You're doing good. And then she corrected herself, and then had a great rest of her match. There were points of the match where I wasn't sure if she was just completely gassed and having trouble assisting Rhea in her moves. Like a couple of times where Rhea was going for the Riptide, it almost looked like Jade was sandbagging her. I don't think it was on purpose. I think maybe Jade just got gassed, and it was a much longer match than Jade is used to having. Like, that was a pretty long match. It might have been second longest match on the card. But when it came down to it, I think both these women went out there, showed out. Jade put on a career best performance here. And I'm hoping that this bodes well for the future, that going forward, we see more of this out of Jade, and to where this is not a one-off performance. This becomes her new normal. And then she just keeps getting better from there. And then I think she's going to get a lot of that goodwill that she had on her initial WWE debut back from the fans who have kind of left her in the wayside and lost faith in her. So I think this is a good first step back in the right direction for her.
The toss to the ropes, when Jade tossed Rhea to the ropes when they were outside, I'm pretty sure the first time, and Rhea landed onto Jade's knee, or Jade got the knee up. That looked like a very cool version of a GTS, but without like picking them up. I already liked this match from the get-go, or like whenever it first started. Way more than their Mania match. Their Mania match felt like the little cousin, like the sibling that don't know what they're doing. That's basically what it felt like. I thought it was smart having Jade get the advantage over Rhea, mainly because it's showing that Jade isn't all bark, no bite. Yeah. And she is a dominant wrestler, as she says. And when Rhea slammed Jade's face on the apron, when Rhea's neck, head, back, whatever it was, slammed onto the apron, it kind of looked like a receipt to me. I don't know if it was, but that's just what it looked like to me. I feel like this was a very good learning experience for Jade. Sorry, because Corey, I think it was Corey, mentioning how Jade was fixing her mistakes. But please let this be it with these two, and move Jade if you have to. I don't think it will, but move Jade down a little bit, like maybe into upper mid card, but not just really. I like how Rhea used Io's double stomp, when she Yeah, you get what I'm talking about. And I knew Charlotte would have had Rhea's back, and I definitely think Charlotte versus Jade is inevitable.
Yeah, Charlotte versus Jade is 100% happening. There is no doubt about it. They're not even in like the same bracket spot either. So for all we know, we could be getting that in the tournament as well. So that is a possibility. Also, Liv Morgan said it best in the post show that this is absolutely Jade Cargill's best performance that we've seen out of her. It really is. And with everything else with her, I did not mind this match at all. I felt like this was, like I said, the best look of Jade Cargill that we've gotten so far.
Fair enough. Well, it was definitely Brock Lesnar's night or day, depending where you are in the world, on this Clash in Italy. The big question was, is Oba Femi going to be able to defeat Lesnar a second time, two times in a row, retire Lesnar a second time, or is Brock Lesnar going to come back and return the favor and return the ass whooping that Oba gave Lesnar at WrestleMania the first time? And this was one of the matches I was looking forward to the most. Brock Lesnar won, but I guess I was just a little, I don't want to say like disappointed in the match because I was still really pumped for this match, but I felt like they actually turned it up and it actually started feeling like a big time match at the very end when they started like coming at each other. Like at one point Oba Femi was in the corner, Lesnar was in the opposite corner, and Oba Femi was running to hit those big forearms, right? Those running forearms. But that was like towards the end of the match, and it was in that moment where I thought, okay, now it's getting competitive. Now it's getting like it's getting crazy now, and then boom, it was just over so quick, right? Now that's how it felt like to me because when the match first started, Brock Lesnar immediately hit Oba Femi with 4 F5s, and I'm thinking, fuck, they're gonna squash Oba. This is gonna be another fucking Kofi Kingston situation where Lesnar, they fly him all the way across the world so you can have another 15-30 second wrestling match. And I'm like, God damn it. But no, Oba Femi kicked out. And then he kicked out again. Oba Femi took like 7 F5s, including one on the announce table, and he kept kicking out and kicking out. It was all Brock Lesnar in this match. Now they're tied 1-1. Now what's next? They're going to have to go for the tiebreaker, I'm guessing, right? But what did you guys think?
I thought this was an incredibly smart way to do this for Oba. I want to make it very clear. It's no surprise that Brock was going to win here. We knew this was going to be a trilogy the moment he attacked Oba a couple weeks ago. We knew Brock was going to win. Most people who are smart enough fans or understand the storytelling of WWE knew this was going to be a trilogy. I'd also like to state, and I want this abundantly clear for those people who were shitting on this, that, oh, Brock wins, dude, this match did more for Oba, in my opinion, than WrestleMania did for Oba. And I'll tell you why. Oba kicked out of 7 F5s, broke out of the Kimura, had to get jumped at the start of the match, and still Brock couldn't put him away until the 7th F5. They made Oba look so fucking strong here. That's what people are missing. You're telling me I had to jump you, Kimura lock, 4 F5s, through a table, another 2 F5s, and then that's what it took to beat you? That only makes Oba look like an absolute fucking monster, because it means Brock had to work to beat Oba. This wasn't just some easy walk in the park. This was one of Brock's more long matches that he doesn't typically. This ain't a Goldberg, a fucking a Dolph Ziggler, the Fiend. It ain't one of those. This is the types of matches he had with like Cena and Triple H and CM Punk back in the day. It took a bit to get those guys down for the count. 9 to 10 minutes, not some 2 to 3 minute squash match. I thought this was a great use of Brock Lesnar for Oba Femi, and I genuinely believe that this did more for Oba here than beating Brock at Mania did for Oba. Sometimes the stage you win on doesn't matter. Sometimes the war of the match you have matters more. And I think this right here was a great way to build up Oba. If you are a smart fan, you would understand Oba's a fucking beast, and Brock just proved that tonight.
I liked the match, even though it was very predictable. I mean, I called Brock jumping Oba, but it was very predictable, a great match, and it proved that Oba isn't what Brock was in his past. Oba is just a different fucking species, however you say it. I enjoyed this. Even though I knew what was going to happen, like move for move, except the Kimura, I didn't call that. It was a great match. It had me guessing, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, the fact that Brock Lesnar had to jump Oba Femi at the beginning with 4 F5s back to back to back to back proves how strong Oba Femi actually is. But what this screams to me is that Oba Femi is not winning that King of the Ring tournament. As much as I would love to see Oba Femi win that King of the Ring tournament, he's not going to, because I still have this massive feeling that how this is going to go is Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi round 3 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's just how I feel there. I feel like that would be the best spot for Brock Lesnar to go out.
I'm going to call it now. Brock is going to, because you don't want to beat Oba in the tournament. Brock is going to jump him in the tournament and cause a disqualification on the other person, so Oba gets kicked out of the tournament.
It's a fatal 4-way.
Or fatal 4-way. Oh, it is? Okay. So Brock's definitely going to fucking jump him in the tournament. So I think he jumps him in the tournament. It takes him out of the match. Someone else wins. I think Oba's about to win. Brock yanks him out of the ring, puts him through a table, beats the crap out of him. Someone else steals the victory. And then that sets up their third match.
That's another reason why I don't like the fucking triple threats and fatal 4-way, because what does that mean? It means no disqualification, and anyone can literally just run in there and fucking beat whoever they want up and cost them the match. And it's ridiculous. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Yeah, I mean, because if it does not go like that, the way that Blood just said with Lesnar costing Oba, the way that Oba's been running through everybody, I would assume that he would beat everybody in this fucking tournament. So it's kind of foregone conclusion, I think it's safe to say, but we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, dude, this is another reason why I said the Cody Gunther match was match of the night for me, because I was so pumped for Lesnar versus Oba. And they had some great moments in this match when Lesnar countered Oba's powerbomb and fucking jumped up from Oba Femi's shoulders like a fucking cruiserweight. I popped for that. I don't think I've ever seen Lesnar do no shit like that before.
I don't know how his knees survived it. That man's what, like 50, 51? You take any other 50, 51-year-old man who steps off into the stairs the wrong way. I'm in my 30s. So are you. We step off the stairs the wrong way. There goes our ankle for 3 weeks. So the fact that he landed from that high perfectly, I told my brother, I said, oh my God. I said, for a guy who skips leg day, Lesnar's knees are strong.
Rey Mysterio was different.
Crazy. That was crazy. But yeah. All right, you guys, let's talk about the Women's Intercontinental Championship. We got a new champion. Sol Ruca defeated Becky Lynch. And I did a little research on this. Stop, Blood. That's so cringy, dog. Stop. Don't do that, fool. Mr. Blood, for the people that are on audio, Mr. Blood is doing the fucking Sol Ruca pose.
It's not a Sol Ruca pose. It's called a hang 10, and it's been around for 100+ years. My people invented surfing. That's where it comes from. Kiss my ass.
Okay. Anyway. So this Intercontinental Championship belt, it was introduced in 2024. And I just feel like it's just been hot potatoed since then. It's been around for around 2 years. And it has changed hands at least 6 or 7 times. Becky Lynch was 3-time Intercontinental Champion. And then we had Lyra, who was the inaugural Intercontinental Champion. Maxine Dupree, AJ Lee. And now Sol Ruca is the new Intercontinental Champion. After being on the main roster for a fucking like 30 minutes, she had 2 matches in the main roster. I think a couple matches before she was actually officially called up. She got called up, she had 1 match, and now she's Intercontinental Champion.
I love it. Absolutely loved it. I'll tell you one of the main reasons, aside from the fact I'm a massive fan of Sol herself. I said this on our predictions. I was sick and tired of seeing Becky Lynch in the Intercontinental Championship division because, let's be honest, they have told the exact same story with Becky for a year and a half. Lyra wins it, plucky up-and-comer, loses it to Becky. Becky holds it. All of a sudden, then she hot potato, or she has a feud with Bayley and Lyra, and then after that, the plucky up-and-comer, who takes it from her? Maxine. She gets it back from Maxine. Then she has it and takes it off of the plucky returning fan favorite, AJ Lee. Then she has another rematch with her, takes it off of her. And then now she loses it to another plucky up-and-comer, Sol Ruca. It's been the same fucking thing with this title. I understand that Becky is a star. I understand she's one of your most popular women's division talents. I get it. You're telling me between Lyra, Becky, fucking Maxine, AJ Lee, and now Sol, in the year and a half this title's been around, because it came towards the end of 2024, you skipped over Bayley like 3 times. There are other women on the roster aside from Becky that could have held that title, instead of you putting it back on her 3 fucking times. It got so old. It really should have been like, if we were being smart, and most fans are going to say this because they have said it, the inaugural champion should have been either Zoe Stark or Dakota Kai. That's what everybody wanted. But we went with Lyra. Lyra kind of was fine, kind of shit the bed with that run. Her writing was off, promo was off. No one really cared. They tried to care. But then we really wanted to see Bayley hold it. Bayley didn't get it. We got to get stuck with a heel Becky for the longest time. So to see Sol Ruca take it, I don't care if she's been on the roster for 30 minutes. Okay. Like Paige's first night she got called up to the main roster, she took the women's title, the Divas title, off of AJ. So it can happen and it be fine. Okay. My thing is, we're trying something new with Sol. I love it. I already know what this means. Becky's going to get a rematch. And I'm already annoyed about it. I thought the match was great. I thought they only had 1 minute of miscommunication, but I'm glad when it really counted, the Soul Snatcher went off without a hitch. I liked that the finish was Becky getting too full of herself trying to hit the Soul Snatcher and got caught in her own manhandle slam and then stood up and got taken straight into a Soul Snatcher. I thought that was a great finish. I'm also tired of us constantly relying on the Jessica Carr and Becky bullshit. So I am really done with Becky in this division.
Yeah, I'm in the same spot. Becky just needs to get the fuck out of the women's intercontinental division, or mid-card, whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing. The match was really good, and I feel like Sol has finally fixed her issue, because here recently with Becky at Saturday Night Main Event and the Raw, she signed her contract, I'm pretty sure. Her Soul Snatcher was just, what the fuck. But but she put a great match on with Becky. There isn't a specific spot that I'd say was jaw dropping, sorry, or like a standout spot for me, mainly because all the spots were great in the match. And I'm so glad that Sol won the title. And whatever you do, move Becky to the world title scene, please. If you have to, have her go to the finals in the Queen of the Ring tournament, because she's in there, and I'm pretty sure she's in the first match. I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
Plain and simple on this. This has already now been stated twice now. Hey, Becky Lynch, leave Sol Ruca alone. You do not need to become a 4-time Intercontinental title holder. You seriously do not need to. Leave Sol Ruca alone. Let her have her run. Do not ask for that rematch. Do nothing. Move the fuck on. But overall, I love this match. So happy that Sol Ruca is now Intercontinental Champion. What I really, really want in the match that I loved back when they had it, that I would not mind seeing a round 2 of a one-on-one match between these two. Sol Ruca versus Bayley. I loved that match when it happened, and I would not mind a round 2 of Sol Ruca versus Bayley.
Completely agree with that. One last thing. I'm sorry, Edgar, but I want to state this too. For all the people who complain about Sol's finish, there were multiple factors as to why that finish got botched over the last few weeks. It was not all on Sol. There was Becky out of position. There was Jessica Carr out of position. There's been a couple of things. Wrestling is not a solo sport. It is a cooperative sport, and sometimes you need everything moving in unison for nothing to go wrong. You also can't complain about saying, "Oh, WWE does all the same things," and then when they're trying to build a new star, you hate on it. When now we're working on building a new star in the women's division. This is a good thing for the division. It's fresh. It's new on the main roster. It's going to endear a lot of people to Sol, get her over, and now we get to see some newer, fresher matchups than just Bayley and Liv all the fucking time. So I am here for this. I'm with you, Tommy. I do want to see Bayley versus Sol too.
Well, the Soul Snatcher wasn't the problem on this match, or on Clash in Italy. It was something completely different that Sol Ruca tried to do, and she got lucky. She got pretty close to fucking hurting herself really badly in this match. If you guys remember, she tried to do like some type of
the round off back handspring,
something over the top rope, or she tried to do a backflip, and she got caught in the middle rope or something, or her leg like swiped the rope, and she
clipped
fucking
it clipped it. It was
that
a round
was
off
fucking scary, dog.
It was. It was. And you know what? It's a dangerous move, but I've also seen Io Sky do that and get caught up. I've seen Charlotte do that and get caught up. We've seen Javon do something near that and get caught up. But at the end of the day, again, sometimes you cut it close. I mean, how many times have we seen Io Sky nearly snap her neck? All the times Tiffany almost killed herself last year. It's going to happen. You just got to course correct. You got to try. Maybe I got to jump a little earlier. Maybe I got to leap just a little bit higher. But yeah, you're right. It only takes an inch, and that's your career or your life.
I think for my own sake, for my own sanity, I think I'm just not. I can't watch her matches, bro, because it's been a constant thing where something like that just, it feels like it's happening a lot, and I don't want to see her fucking get hurt, man.
I feel like we've seen it consecutively worse with more established talents. I mean, we were just having this conversation a month or so ago about Io's suicide dive through the ropes. 2 weeks in a row, she almost breaks her neck. We were having this conversation multiple times last year with Tiffany. Almost every single match for most of last year, she nearly breaks her neck. People don't catch her. She almost fucking paralyzes herself. And these are higher level athletes that are at the top of the card that are in those situations more frequently than Sol. So I think if Sol just keeps up her practice and training, she can correct, because her bump card isn't as filled out as these other talents. So she's not as hurt. She's not as banged up. She still has enough time to switch her skill set, but also figure out ways to properly correct it. I mean, you've got guys that you get freak accidents. I mean, you get hurt doing, protecting yourself. Liv Morgan blew her whole freaking shoulder out, landing from a trip spot. It can happen to anybody,
Yeah, and we've also argued that a lot of those dives that you talked about, for example, like the Io Sky stuff and some of the other stuff like Tiffany Stratton, like a lot of that stuff just feels unnecessary. And a lot of the stuff Sol Ruca does feels unnecessary. So it's just like, why?
I don't disagree. I mean, let's be honest. We don't need high flyers in professional wrestling. But the problem is that because it is an entertainment sport, it's a part of that overall high octane package. And remember, like, we didn't really have a lot of high flyers in WWE until like the very early to mid 90s. Like, it was really more a lucha libre thing for most of the 20th century. And it really only became a thing in WWE and WCW and all these other places in like 1991 and 92 when we started seeing like the Ultimo Dragons and the Rey Mysterio Juniors and all those guys, the 1-2-3 Kid coming into WWE. And so now it feels so oversaturated that I wouldn't disagree with someone if they called it unnecessary, because we have so much of it on the roster that, it's kind of like Javon. At some point, he's going to want to start correcting his moveset, or he's just another Darby Allin meme where everybody's basically saying, dude's going to be in a wheelchair by the time he's 50. It comes down to, you're going to have to course correct throughout your career. It happens with everybody. There's a reason you don't see Randy Orton drop kick anymore. He hurts himself too much doing it.
She's the fucking Intercontinental Champion now, man. So, I don't know. Hopefully... I mean, she's really young too. One can say she's still learning, but she is an Intercontinental Champion as well. So we'll see what happens with Sol Ruca. All right, let's go on to the Tribal Combat, the main event: Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu for all the marbles. World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Ula Fala on the line. The winner gets to be the head of the table, and the loser has to acknowledge the other one as their tribal chief. And this was tribal combat, which means no disqualifications. And there was tables, there was chairs, there was a toolbox involved at some point. Roman Reigns was really focusing on that hand, Jacob Fatu's right hand, because that's where, that's Jacob Fatu's ultimate weapon when he does his, what is the name of the fucking move?
Tongan Death Grip.
The Tongan Death Grip. Roman Reigns took out the hand with the toolbox multiple times. Yeah, man, it was a crazy match back and forth, right? They were hitting each other with everything. Finishers, freaking power punches, Superman punches, spears, and a lot of near falls here. It was exciting. It was hard hitting. The crazy thing about all of this, though, Roman did it by himself. No help. No Usos. No family. No nothing. Roman Reigns says, I don't need nobody. I'm going to prove to you and the whole world that I can do this shit on my own. And he did. It was 1-on-1. And Roman beat Jacob Fatu. Is he going to acknowledge Roman Reigns? They're going to make us wait until Monday Night Raw for that. They announced it. We will see Jacob Fatu acknowledging Roman on Raw. I'm like, damn it. I wanted to see that shit tonight. But we're going to have to wait a few more hours for that. After the match, the Usos showed up. And so did the MFTs. Solo Sikoa and the MFTs were ringside. Roman saw them. And you can hear Roman say on the camera, they're next. I got something for them too. So the MFTs they're there very closely. And I think they got Roman Reigns' attention. So that was a nice little cliffhanger there at the end of this match. But Roman Reigns is 3-0 in Tribal Combat.
Yeah, of course, the only time the MFTs ever seem to fucking matter is when they're involved with the regular bloodline story. Because all of last year, no one gave a shit. And the year before, the only reason we cared is because they were involved with the bloodline stuff. At a point, I'm just wondering, Why are they a group if the only time they're ever interesting and the only time you ever write anything worth a damn for them is when they're involved with the main bloodline story? When it comes down to it, I thought the match was good. I thought, if not somewhat boring, a little bit too plotting, in my opinion. I know it's a typical Roman Reigns methodical pace, but I felt like we slowed the match down way too many times. Every time it felt like something was happening, someone was on the floor again for another minute and a half, 2 minutes. I felt like it was trying my patience with how long it was taking for them to kind of tell the story. I do like that Roman was telling the story of attacking the hand. I do like that Roman, did do it by himself, but also then there's the logic of it for me. If Roman's willing to low blow him to get out of a pin, to do that classic low blow kick out, okay, well, then the moment he locks in the tongue and death grip 3 minutes later, why don't you kick him in the dick again? Like you're sitting there like this. It's an ODQ match. Hammer, just nut check him. Like, what? You're right there. So I'm just like, you're sitting here with your life on the line. What, now you want to play by the rules? Like, nah, bro. Like, you choke, you trying to rip my Adam's apple. No, it's the meme. Grab his dick and twist it. I'm just going straight for Thunder Down Under, brother. Sorry. You already got 7 kids. You don't need more. When it comes down to it, I thought the match was great. I liked that the Usos didn't interfere. I liked that the MFTs didn't interfere. That's going to make LA Knight very happy tomorrow on Monday Night Raw. But I will say one thing that really caught my attention at the end. When Jay was beckoning, or better yet, commanding Jacob to get out of the ring and follow them. And Jacob listened. Jacob listened while being ordered by Jay. So I think that is going to be an interesting story beat of tomorrow night. Still wondering if we're getting a Zilla Fatu debut tomorrow, because one has to wonder, the moment that acknowledgement ceremony happens, the MFTs are coming out. So I think tomorrow is going to be quite an explosive episode of Monday Night Raw.
Well, Blood, I think I have an answer on that Zilla Fatu. Earlier today on Instagram, or whenever it was, I saw a post for an indie show match card, and Zilla Fatu was on that card. So I don't think we're getting him until that happens, which is like in June. So we gotta wait, brother. I don't even know when that was. I didn't check the date. But I just saw that. So the overall
just really quick, I want to add to that. I also saw that he's on probation. Zilla Fatu's on probation, and he was not able to attend a show in Tijuana, which is in Mexico. And since they're in Italy, I don't think he's allowed to travel either. But if he didn't show up to the show in Mexico, it could be because he's signed to WWE. That's also a possibility. I don't know.
That's weird, because I saw him post something on Instagram, the same place that I saw that other post, where he was in Quebec, Canada. So I don't know how he got there if he's on probation, but I don't know. We don't know any of that stuff. The overall vibe for the match was insane, especially after Mask versus Mask yesterday night being an amazing match and contender for match of the year. But that made me more pipe, and that take 2, please. That made me more pumped for this match. I thought it was cool and annoying how they both took a moment to soak in the crowd's chants. I was like, can we hurry up, please? I got things to do. No, I don't. But excuse me. I was surprised that Roman did a leapfrog over Fatu. It's very rare we see someone his size. Not that he's any tall or anything, but it's rare we see him do something like that. Where was I at? I was wondering to myself the entire time, can this top the tribal combats with Jay and Solo? The one with Solo definitely, but I don't think it tops the one with Jay. The one with Jay at SummerSlam 2023, that one's probably the best tribal combat match we've had. I enjoyed this, but it didn't need the Usos to interfere or Zilla Fatu to come out yet. But it was a great match either way. And the comment that was made by Michael Cole when Roman won to Fatu shouldn't have been said. You probably know what I'm talking about, but if you don't, then I'll just type it in the chat afterwards. But I was surprised that the MFTs were in the
Say it.
crowd. Oh,
Say it.
Michael Cole said the Samoan werewolf has been neutered.
Oh yeah, he did say that.
I started dying, but I was surprised the MFTs were in the chat and were in the crowd. And I see them moving to Raw very soon. Not if not tomorrow, then after they get done with their stuff with Damian Priest, R-Truth, and Royce Keys, which I really hope that comes to an end soon because of the entire thing with them tonight. So I love this match.
Yeah, mid-match, I knew that the Usos were not coming out because he full-blown looked at Jacob and went, "You think I need anybody to beat you?" So clearly he was trying to say to Jacob, hey, nobody else is going to come out. It's just me. I'm going to kick your ass. That is basically what he was saying right then and there. But this match, I did absolutely love it with how everything went down and how as soon as one Tongan death grip ended up on Roman, his response was, I have to take out that hand. Because if you take out that hand, you're good to go. There's no grip there for Jacob to go after. So at that point, Roman is very methodical, and that's just what he's best at. And with this, he truly did not need anybody else. But what I did find interesting is the fact that after the match, yes, Jay was going, come on, and trying to get him up the ramp. But also, Jacob looked back at the MFTs for a second before he started going up that ramp. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that's going to affect his head as well, knowing the fact that he has no choice but to acknowledge Roman Reigns as his tribal chief. But now you've also got Jacob and the MFTs looking at him too.
Well, Clash in Italy is in the record books. That chapter has now closed, and now we're on the road to what's next? Night of Champions, right? Which is when? When is Night of Champions coming
July 8th or June 18th or something like that, guys?
Let me check.
It's sometime in June. I think July is mainly
27th.
Money in the Bank.
June 27th? It is.
No, it's the end of June.
And I believe we have another Saturday night's main event before that as well.
No, after that in July.
Oh, it's after. Okay, so no PLEs the entire month of June, basically until the very end.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I mean, it's a nice change after having what feels like one PLE every 2 goddamn weeks, you know?
Yeah. Last year, that was fun.
Yep, and the European tour continues. So I'm pretty sure tomorrow Raw is going to be early. Yeah, Friday SmackDown I believe is also going to be in Europe. So yeah, man. But I believe we're going to be sticking to our regular recording schedule. We'll be back tomorrow for Monday Night Raw at regular time and all that good stuff. But until next time, this was lovely like always. That was Clash in Italy 2026 with the Snug Wrestling crew. Let's get up out of here.
Well, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Snug Wrestling. As always, thank you for kicking it with us. We appreciate every single one of you for tuning in. And don't forget, we're live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday after Raw, NXT, and SmackDown go off the air, respectively, on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook Live for post-show reviews. Then you can hang out with us on Thursday night on TikTok Live, where myself, Mr. Blood, and the head of Snug Wrestling, Edgar, go one-on-one for 1 hour and answer your fan questions live and talk about random or relevant wrestling topics. And then, of course, guys, you can support the podcast by heading on over to our teepublic.com. That is teepublic.com/snug wrestling to pick up your wrestling merch and support us here on the podcast. It does help keep the podcast running, and we greatly appreciate you guys for doing that. And of course, guys, until next time, stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug. And yes, because the European tour is going on, we will be doing most of these show reviews until the tour is over at our still normal times at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Instead of directly after the shows, they will be at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 o'clock Central until the tour is over. So thank you guys so much. Boys, that was one time for the one time. I said that was bowl letters.
Four letters.
One word.
One word.
Yeet.
Yeet.